Hello. So, random thing, this is going to be a random video because I thought of this in the morning when I was going for a walk because I would like to be more healthy in my life, and unfortunately, my hobbies all require me to be sitting down on a couch. So, good times. Anyways, this is going to be one of those videos in which is just really weird and random that most people probably won't watch, but I still want to talk about it because fuck it, you know? So, on to the actual point of this video, and the reason why I'm not using the arm for the microphone is because I would like to stand about and use the full length of this fucking cord that has this lovely, lovely microphone attached to it. Anyways, on to actually what I wanted to talk about. So, like I said, this morning, I was walking. Only for a little bit, listening to the band The Devil Wears Prada's new album, Color Decay. It's great. It's really great if you like metalcore and you haven't heard about The Devil Wears Prada. It's not the movie or the book. It is the band that named themselves after the book, and then realized that the book that they thought they named themselves after was not what they thought. Anyways, it is a good album, and I've been listening to The Devil Wears Prada for a decade at this point, more than a decade. Shit. I started listening to them in like middle school. Damn. It's been a while. Anyways, the main thing is that besides those sirens in the background outside, is that I love music, and I wanted to talk about that. Granted, if you've been on my channel for a little bit, you will notice that there are two random videos that are not like the others, in which I talk about two separate bands, the Before I Turn and Brand of Sacrifice. Those two are of the metal genre. One's a deathcore, one's like a post metal, like proggy. I don't know where to categorize them, but it is one of those situations in which I have started to make these videos and then realized that I never explained why I am making certain videos. The Before I Turn did it was because I realized that the album Lovelorn from them is basically the entire plot of Romeo and Juliet, and then Brand of Sacrifice, it was because I was an idiot and didn't realize that the Brand of Sacrifice, the band named after this brand on my arm, is basically all their songs are about berserk. So I was an idiot. Anyways, the main thing is that I've never really explained much about why I love music, and it is something that I'm going to rectify today in this video. Hopefully it's not too long and I don't ramble too much, but you know, your boy is a rambler. Anyways, so a little backstory about why I love music is the fact that I originally did not like music all that much. Shocking. My parents love them to death, but sometimes they made poor decisions while raising me and my siblings. One of them being that they, when we were wee little tykes, only allowed us to listen to country music. To the point where now I vehemently hate country music, except Johnny Cash. Though he's also in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Anyways, so literally, I was only really listening to different types of country music, and then also going to church every Sunday. I don't do that anymore. And listening to church hymns and music there, and being like, wow, music kind of sucks. I don't understand why anyone gets into music. And it did take a bit. So I think it was around second or third grade when I heard other music that wasn't country music, and I was sad or crying because I didn't understand what the fuck was happening. Yeah, great times, Mom. Great times, Dad. I've told you about this, and you, do not force your kids just to do one certain thing. It may turn out terribly. If you, focus heavily on one thing that you want your kids just to focus on, you might realize they turn out like they want different things. Anyways, The main thing is that it took a little bit. I started listening to some rock, some hip hop, some pop, the usual things, and it did take a while until I finally got into like actual rock, and then also listening to metal, and that didn't happen until middle school, like a lot of edgy teenagers or preteens. So it is one of those situations in which I didn't really have much of a musical taste besides Johnny Cash and maybe one or two rock songs. And it wasn't until my cousin, thanks cousin, I'm not going to say your name on this because I'm not going to do that to you. Though nowadays we don't really talk. But anyways, during one of my sister's birthdays, we had at a hall because my sister wanted that. And my cousin put on, and this is true, Still Fly by The Devil Wears Prada, which is a cover of a hip hop song. And I fell in love because I was like, what is this shit? Why does it sound good? And I eventually realized that, oh, this is why people like music. And slowly started to broaden my horizons away from just Johnny Cash. I still listen to Johnny Cash on the regular, but I now listen to heavier stuff. I still listen to The Devil Wears Prada, obviously. And their sound over the years has definitely improved and evolved and has grown better over the years, as well as worse at one point. But then they stuck with the experimentation and led to them releasing a pretty banger of an album. Really solid and nice. So it became obvious to me that I love metal. And moving forward in like middle school and high school and college, I majority, even now in my adult life, I listen to mostly metal and the different types of genres of metal. It's just how it works. And I wonder at points what would have happened if I did not find metal when I did. Would I enjoy music like I do now? Would I find enjoyment in just sitting down on my fucking couch or walking around my fucking apartment and just vibing to a album or just listening to a song and being like, oh shit, this is awesome? So I don't know. It's something that I've thought about and definitely has theories that I've thought, and I just want to know why, but at the same point, I think I actually know why. Up until I started listening to metal, most songs kind of sucked for me. I have listened to hundreds upon hundreds of hours of music. I have listened to hundreds of bands and artists and dozens upon dozens of genres of music, and it's just one of those situations in which I think most people like the music that they like because they like it, and they find meaning in the words or meaning in the different emotions the artists are trying to create, which is great. It's definitely one of those situations in which now, me working in the live event industry, that I am around people that also like music to the point where sometimes it's a little weird and people have huge divisive opinions on music that will get you punched in the face. So yeah, it is one of those situations in which I have thought many times about that. I do not know why exactly I like music. And thoughts, a little bit of thoughts that I have why I may enjoy the music that I do. One is that up until that point, I had been listening to country and pop, or pop country, because unfortunately for a lot of people, country is the most popular genre of music, and you cannot escape it. It is unfortunate, that is how it works. And then the highest demographic of music, which is again unfortunate, is preteen girls. It is just how it works. I think that statistic is still good since I learned about it back in like 2016. It may have changed ever so slightly, but I think country music is still up in the top. So yes, you can't really escape that whole it's made for girls and just being about like getting with a dude and falling in love, and oh no, he broke up with me, or I'm on a country road and my dog died and my wife cheated on me, but I have a red Solo cup, so I guess this is fine type of deal. While when I started listening to metal and started listening to the lyrics of metal, I began to realize, oh shit, music has meaning. And going through that is a interesting journey in itself that I love so much, and I had to explain to my parents on multiple occasions why I like it. Sure, they are screaming at me. Sure, that sounds like a wall of sound, but by God, does it sound good? Does it make me actually feel emotions that aren't like, hey, everything's fine? Because let's face it, the world isn't fine. Everything is not always fine. Being fine is great, but just pretending that everything is fine, everything is always going to be fine, kind of gets, what's the word? Bullshit. It just feels like bullshit after a while, that everything you are doing and saying is trying to make you feel an emotion that you are not feeling, and you are trying to force people into making them feel that emotion, and that sucks. I'm fine with sitting and listening to an album that makes me feel sad. I am fine listening to a song that makes me feel angry. I am fine listening to a track off of a anime or what have you that makes me feel like I'm trying to do and accomplish great things. And maybe I'll fall and fail, but I can still succeed. That is where I enjoy music, is because unlike most pop songs that I've listened to in my life, most country music, the music that I listen to makes me feel happy, makes me feel sad, makes me feel angry, makes me actually feel, instead of listening to it and being like, well, I guess we're talking about another party again. But have you ever listened to a song that it's about criticizing the Trail of Tears? Have you ever listened to a song that goes through an epic adventure that has never been seen before? Have you ever listened to a song that makes you just want to weep because it sounds so beautiful and has a depressing story behind it? Do you ever listen to a song? Do you ever listen to an album and think, this is like a masterpiece that will never be transcended in humanity? Granted, that has barely ever happened, and usually I'm a little too drunk at that point. Still, it is one of those situations in which I feel like most people do not have that sort of feeling. Maybe it's just me, or maybe I'm just weird. I just hope that more people will go out, listen to music, and be like, that random bearded man on the internet, he was right. That is me feeding my ego, but maybe you can do that. Anyways, so yeah, this might be rambly. This might be an awful video, but I still wanted to talk about it because, one, I really enjoy just walking around this space, the largest space in my apartment that doesn't have anything because I have a stupidly small apartment, and just talking into this microphone. It is great. So hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you want to hear more of my stupid ramblings. If you do, hit the subscribe button. If you like this video in particular, think about hitting the like button. If you didn't like it, hit the dislike button. I don't care. I'm fine with this never actually having any views. I just wanted to talk about this because I couldn't think of any other topic as I was walking that 1 hour this morning. So yeah, hopefully you all stay safe. Also, random other thing, if you want to go in the comments, talk about why you like music, or talk about your favorite bands, please go ahead. I will read them. And if you have any recommendations of bands, I would love to listen to them. I will listen to most things besides country. Fuck country. Fuck it. Anyways, hopefully you all stay safe, stay cool out there. It's a little bit warm, but the temperature is eventually, hopefully, going to drop. That would be awesome. And hopefully you just stay safe. So, stay safe, read some manga, go listen to some good fucking banging music, and I hope we see each other soon. Bye!